righty, 10:02, what's happening? This is the Tiki Tierney Show. How's everybody doing today? We good? Everybody okay? Everybody calm? Because I got some stuff that might rev you up a little bit here, particularly if you're a Yankee fan. TK, how you doing today, buddy? You good?
I am very good. Hal Steinbrenner not making us very good.
So, making the round, yeah, you're right. Making the rounds yesterday, he sat down with Meredith Marakovitz from the Yes Network. And, you know, kind of a wide-ranging, little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I thought Meredith asked good questions. And I thought Hal gave awful answers, basically. Let me read one thing to you. I mean, if this is supposed to make us feel good, then I don't know what it's going to feel like when we feel bad, which is how we felt the last couple of years when the season ends. So, this is about Aaron Judge, and there's a few other things that we'll get to, but listen to this. So, as I read, Steinbrenner said he had, quote, more than one conversation with Judge since the Yankee season ended, and that he describes the conversations, quote, as very positive. All right, there you go. Listen, one thing we know, because they misspoke back in April when they divulged the dopey details of the deal, so they are terrified to say anything wrong. I get it. I don't need any juicy, meaty quotes from Cashman or Hal Steinbrenner about retaining Judge. You just keep your mouth shut, get the deal done. But he did say this, quote, I've made it clear to him that remaining with the Yankees is our wish. He means a lot to this organization. Are you ready for this part? Mm-hmm. And if there's room,
What?
we're going to do everything we can to make that happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the most pathetic, alarming quote from an owner in this city in a long time. And if there's room. You're not talking about a lefty reliever that you might have to go over the threshold because you might get 2 outs in October. You're talking about Aaron Judge. And Hal Steinbrenner actually said into a hot microphone, and if there's room, we're going to do everything we can to make this happen.
There are 4 words that if he leaves out of this conversation, we feel like Aaron Judge is a high priority for the New York Yankees. But by saying, and it's really just these 4 words, and if there's room, it qualifies it to disrespect.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
You disrespected him at the beginning of the season by disclosing what the offer was, the fair offer, put that in quotes, that you offered him that he turned down because it was fair and not the superstar level offer that he deserved. And you release it to with the express intent to get Yankee fans against him, to which they booed him on opening day, not because he was 0 for 4, but because he said no to the Yankees' fair offer, not the superstar offer that he deserved and ultimately earned. Mm-hmm. Now, he had to earn that. We all agree on that. He did. But you don't embarrass and disrespect your star and then talk out of the other side of your mouth saying that we want him to be the captain if he wants it, if it means something to him. You're qualifying everything. I don't understand this. Say Aaron Judge is going to be our captain. When we sign him, he's going to be our captain. We're going to do everything we can to make that happen. Period. Don't overqualify it. If you're wrong,
don't qualify it at all.
If you're wrong, it's okay.
Yeah, well,
right?
It's not going to be okay. But
No, but I'm just saying, if you're wrong and Aaron Judge decides to sign with the San Francisco Giants because he wants to go to the San Francisco Giants, and you put everything forward and you told Yankee fans, we're going to do everything we can to sign Aaron Judge, period, not qualified by if there's room or qualified if he wants to be captain. Forget the qualifications, right? Just state it simply. And by stating it simply, you make it very clear and unambiguous to Aaron Judge that you're going to do whatever it takes to get him here. By qualifying all this, you're pushing him. You're pushing him away while trying to give him a hug. That's what it feels like.
He's showing no leadership. Hal.
Well, I think
he's showing no presence.
No, I think he's trying to overtalk. I think he's trying to overtalk. I think he's trying to overtalk.
Well, then don't do the interview.
I agree.
You're not a very good speaker. Don't agree to it.
He's overtalking because he's trying to protect himself in the in the event that Aaron Judge doesn't stay.
If there's room. Imagine dating somebody
Because of
for
money.
2 years.
Because
yeah,
of money,
course.
by the way.
Not roster,
No.
not roster spot. Well, there's not 25 other better players than Aaron Judge. Yeah, of course it's about the money. Imagine dating somebody for 2 years. Honey, I'll happily marry you unless a supermodel falls into my lap. And then, I'm going to have to reconsider our possible union here.
Honey,
if there's room.
You can have,
Is this guy kidding me?
Let's get married. You can have my bed for life. If there's room.
If there's room,
in
if
my
nobody
bed.
else is in it with me, sure, you can come on in. And by the way, he also does this. He talks about this. Don't get me wrong. I'm probably picking apart every syllable. But I also think that it's my responsibility for Yankee fans to do that. So I read about it last night a little bit. I downloaded it in my car, sitting in traffic, driving into the show today, right? And it's part one. It's only about 5 minutes or so, maybe a little bit more. Part two, I guess, is going to drop today or soon. But there's a second part coming. He also says, he says he's not going to lean on the injuries, and he proceeds to reference the injuries in a 5-minute clip 3 times, all right? And then he talks about how, and this bothered me, and this is subtle. You had to really be dialed in to pick this up. But he talks about how Cashman built this great team, referencing the early part of the season, right? How dominant they were. And they were dominant. They were destroying people. We were giddy. I think some people, maybe took the bait a little bit much and compared this to the 98 Yankees, which was ludicrous. But we knew this team was potentially on course to win a lot of games, like an unlikely amount of games, an uncommon amount of games, which ultimately didn't happen. They won 99. But as he talked about this great team that Cashman assembled and how dominant they were, then in the next sentence, he goes on to reference how Benintendi was injured. Well, if Cashman assembled such a great team, why did you need to trade for Benintendi? The amazing part is that Benintendi wasn't part of the great team that you're telling us about. Listen, here's what needs to happen, all right? Somebody from the New York Yankees needs to text me. Somebody needs to give me Hal's number. I don't dislike Hal. I think Hal is a gentleman. I think he's a fine person. I think he's well-intentioned. I think he truly is a really good soul. I do. But I think when it comes to baseball, he's lost. And I think he's getting bad messaging. Here's the other thing. Now, I know that, and this is not our Meredith, she's not going to ask this, I don't think. Just like, Alan Hahn or who I also like, and Breen, who wouldn't ask of Leon Rose certain things on MSG. I get the dynamic. But somebody needs to ask Hal Steinbrenner, what about Mr. Click, formerly of the Houston Astros? What about bringing him in as, a consultant and / a little ammunition for maybe Cashman to try things differently? Like, there are so many things that they need to do. And then he's raving about the player development. What in the world have they done? Player development? He actually has the gall to tell us, listen to the 5 minutes. There's really not much that he said that I believe.
Yeah. Do you think this is a negotiating tactic? Do you think it could be?
With Judge?
Yeah, with Judge.
That is one dangerous game, boy, I'll tell you that.
Well,
if that's what he's doing, it's dumb.
That's the other side of it. If it is a negotiating tactic and he's trying to play coy to Judge's camp and say, well, obviously we want you, but you got to want us too. I could see him thinking that way. But isn't that also pushing him away?
Yes, it could be. I think we're so past that point.
If you don't come hard, we want you badly. We want you as bad as anybody in baseball. And we brought you up. We respect the hell out of you. We want you here, and we're going to do everything that we can to sign you here. If it's anything less than that, you're playing a dangerous game with Aaron Judge. So I know it could be negotiating tactics, but it doesn't feel like it is. It feels like he's trying to overtalk.
877-337-6666. This is supposed to make us feel good. Going into the hot stove report, I'm more angered and slightly more perplexed than I was a month ago, and I was pissed a month ago. And here's the other thing, too. Oh, did you see that little report that now emerged? Guess who the Astros' #1 free agent offseason target is? Take a guess. The RZA. Anthony Rizzo. So, listen, I mean this. I know it's not going to happen, but I really mean this. Somebody please give me 30 seconds with Hal. Just 30. Let me please guide you. Let me help you. Let me assist you. Let me possibly motivate you. Whatever is required to get you to understand that you own the Yankees. You don't own the Orioles. You don't own the Padres. You don't own the Phillies, even though they're good. You own the Yankees. You have to remember that. I think you forgot.
But hasn't that changed in his mind? It's changed what it means to own the Yankees. I think we have to accept that at this point.
No, I don't accept anything. No,
but I think
you can accept.
But
I
think we have to.
No,
because that's
then I give up, and I don't give up.
Well, but I mean, we can't control.
I can try.
We can't control.
Try
what Hal does or what Brian Cashman are planning to do. We can try.
We can try to influence it. But here's what bothers me about Hal. And again, I really do think he's a good person. And I can't stand the stuff like with George. We're so past that. We don't get into that too much on the show. Really, I don't even think most of the shows do. It's such an old line. George has been dead for a while. Rest in peace. That's ridiculous at this point. But I will bring up this one comparison. The one thing, in addition to a lot of bad things, to be fair, one thing that George did that was great. He was so aware and so perceptive and so in tune with what the fans thought. Mm-hmm. When I listen to this 5-minute, and there's more, when I listen to the 5-minute audio with Meredith, it is painfully clear that A, he either has not listened to the Yankee fan base, or B, he doesn't care. Mm-hmm. And neither one is good.
It's easy. I think it's easy to ignore the fan base. It's easy to not have to hear it. It's easy to not go on social media. It's easy to not tune into local radio. It's easy to not read the newspapers. It's easy. It's really easy if you don't want to hear it. Now, the question that Hal should be thinking about is, are they saying things, meaning fans and us, are we saying things that have merit? And I think he doesn't want to know. I honestly do. I don't think he cares. I think he was doing it his own way. I think he's trying to change financially how this Yankees organization has operated. And financially, that's probably prudent. But it's not going to satisfy or satiate any Yankee fan. And it's probably going to ostracize a lot of the players, too.
All right, so listen, you heard it. If you didn't hear it, I shouldn't assume that you heard it. We actually have some of the clues. We're going to play them coming up. Want you guys to react. I mean, nothing that was said was reassuring. It just was not. And I'd like to think that in terms of the Yankee stuff, if you're a Yankee fan, I'd like to think that, I'm kind of listening for what you're listening for. I want to hear what you want to hear. I heard none of it. All right, Tiki and Tierney on the Fan inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Our friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. We got a stacked show. We've got Julian Love. Got a number of love for you. Coming up at 11:30. Got a little guy thing, not a guy thing. 12 o'clock hour. Eagles go down. Obviously impacts the Giants. Told you the Commanders aren't a pushover. That could impact the Giants. And is this God, I hate to be so negative about it. Shoot here, but is this possibly the last week that Tom Thibodeau is coaching the Knicks? This road trip out west and possibly to oblivion could really force the Knicks to act. We'll get to all that and more coming up on The Fan.